3:17 a.m. The house is perfectly still. The world outside is cloaked in a deep, quiet darkness. But inside your mind, it's rush hour at Grand Central Station. A relentless carousel of thoughts begins to spin. Gathering speed with each rotation, you replay a conversation from yesterday. Dissecting every word. Searching for hidden meanings, you start to worry a familiar, unwelcome visitor about your finances, your family, your health. You begin composing a mental to-do list for tomorrow, each item adding another brick to a wall of anxiety that separates you from the peaceful oblivion of sleep. Your body is physically exhausted, every muscle and cell pleading for rest. But your mind refuses to be quiet. It has been hijacked. For many of us, this is one of the most frustrating, isolating, and lonely experiences of aging. Lying awake in the quiet darkness, a prisoner in your own bed, watching the cruel illuminated numbers on the clock tick by with agonizing slowness. 3:17, 3:42, 4:05. We've often been told by well-meaning friends, family, and even some old-school doctors that this is just a part of getting older, a non-negotiable tax levied on a long life. Today, from my perspective as a physician armed with the latest, most exciting breakthroughs in neuroscience, I am here to tell you that this is one of the most damaging and outdated myths in all of health. While your sleep patterns, your sleep architecture, will naturally change as you age, good, deep, restorative sleep is not a luxury of the young that you have to give up on. It is a biological birthright that we can reclaim. And at the end of this masterclass, you're going to know the exact, science-backed strategies to do just that. You'll understand precisely why you're waking up and what to do about it. It is time to turn off the carousel. In our new series, we are exploring the 4 pillars of longevity, the essential, evidence-backed components of a long and vibrant health span. We've already established that a nutrient-dense diet is the non-negotiable foundation of the house of health. Today, we begin to build the first and most critical wall of that house. We are treating sleep not as a luxury, not as a passive state of doing nothing, but as the second essential pillar of longevity. From a clinical standpoint, sleep is a critical, highly active, and indispensable biological process. When you are sleeping, your body is anything but idle. It is hard at work running its most essential repair and restoration programs. Your brain is cleaning itself. Your memories from the day are being consolidated and filed away. Your hormones, from insulin to cortisol, are being regulated and rebalanced. Your immune system is rebooting, manufacturing the very cells that will protect you from infection the next day. This is why poor sleep isn't just a nuisance that makes you feel tired. From a medical standpoint, it's a significant, independent risk factor for many of the conditions we have spent months learning how to manage and prevent. Chronic poor sleep is directly linked to worsened insulin resistance, making your blood sugar harder to control. It's linked to higher blood pressure. As your cardiovascular system never gets a chance to fully rest, it's linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular events, weight gain, and even a measurable decline in cognitive function. Sleep is the foundational pillar that supports all the others. A wobbly sleep pillar makes it nearly impossible to keep the pillars of diet, exercise, and stress management standing strong. Let's revisit our friend Richard, whose story so perfectly illustrates this, as we know. He's doing everything right during the day. He's embraced the plate method. His meals are balanced and beautiful. He started his new strength and balance routine, feeling a new sense of physical capability. But at night, his body and brain aren't getting the chance to run those essential nightly repair programs. The construction crew can't come in to rebuild the muscle he worked so hard to stimulate. His metabolic systems aren't getting the chance to reset. He described the feeling to me perfectly. He said he wakes up feeling as if he has a low-grade hangover, with a foggy mind, a short temper, and a profound lack of mental clarity. He noticed his motivation to do his exercises was lower. His cravings for simple carbs, the newspaper carbs we talked about, were dramatically higher. As his body desperately searched for a quick source of energy, he explained with deep frustration, "Doctor, it feels like all the good work I do from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. is being undone by what's happening or not happening from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. He's starting every single day with his battery already half empty, no matter how healthy and well-balanced his breakfast is." Richard's frustration is the reason we are dedicating an entire masterclass to this topic. You cannot be truly healthy if you are not sleeping well. It is that simple and that profound. In this masterclass, we are going to become sleep scientists together. First, we will explore the fascinating and predictable changes that happen to our sleep architecture as we age, so you can understand what is normal and what is not. Second, we'll uncover the critical, recently discovered science of the glymphatic system, your brain's personal dishwasher, and why it only runs when you're deeply asleep. Third, we will debunk, with hard science, the dangerous myth that seniors simply need less sleep. And most importantly, I will give you what I give my own patients who are struggling: a clinical, evidence-based sleep hygiene protocol, a complete, step-by-step guide to engineering your environment and your daily routines to reclaim your nights and wake up feeling truly restored. It is time to build the pillar of restorative sleep. Let's begin. To fix a problem as complex and frustrating as poor sleep, we must first understand it. We must become scientists of our own biology, moving from a place of frustration to a place of informed action. So, for this chapter, I invite you to enter the lab with me. We are going to take a journey into the hidden world of your brain at night and look at what's really happening when you sleep, and why that process naturally changes as we navigate through the decades. Debunking the number one most dangerous myth about sleep first. Before we go any further, we must pull the biggest and most dangerous myth about sleep out by its roots and discard it for good. The idea that older adults simply need less sleep is clinically, factually, and dangerously false. Where did this pervasive myth come from? It likely came from simple, but flawed, observation. It is extremely common for older adults to get less sleep, often due to chronic pain, medication side effects, undiagnosed sleep apnea, or the very architectural changes we're about to discuss. Over time, people confused what is common with what is normal or optimal. From a clinical standpoint, they are not the same thing. It's common to have high blood pressure after age 60, but it is certainly not optimal. Let's be unequivocally clear on this point, as it is the foundation of our work today. A healthy human adult, whether they are 25 or 75, still requires approximately 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night for optimal physical and mental health. Think of your sleep need like a sleep debt that you accrue for every hour you are awake. During the day, your body and brain are spending energy, breaking down tissues and creating metabolic waste. It takes a full 7 to 9 hours for your biological maintenance crews to fully pay off that debt, repair all the systems, clean out the waste, and restore you to full function. If you consistently only get 5 or 6 hours, you are living in a state of chronic sleep debt. You might get used to the feeling. The fatigue becomes your baseline, but the underlying biological processes, your immune function, your insulin sensitivity, your cardiovascular health, your brain's cleaning cycle is silently paying a heavy price. Richard used to believe this myth. He told me, "My father only ever slept 5 hours a night in his 70s and seemed fine. I just thought it was what happens." He had accepted his profound fatigue as an inevitable and non-negotiable part of aging, not as a treatable symptom of insufficient sleep. Recognizing that he still needs those 7 to 9 hours was the first, most crucial step in his recovery: changes in your sleep architecture. So, if we still need the same quantity of sleep, why does it often feel so different, so much less satisfying as we get older? The answer lies in the quality and structure. of our nightly sleep, a concept sleep scientists call sleep architecture. I want you to think of your nightly sleep as a journey down a spiral staircase with the goal of reaching the most valuable, most restorative levels in the deep, quiet basement. During the night, we don't just fall asleep and stay in one state. We cycle through several distinct stages, each with a unique purpose. There are lighter stages, stage 1 and 2 sleep, which act as the gateway. Then we descend into the critically important stage 3 slow-wave sleep, also known as deep sleep. This is the stage of profound physical restoration. This is when your body releases human growth hormone to repair tissues, strengthens your immune system, and performs its deepest cellular cleanup. After a period in the basement of deep sleep, we come back up into REM, rapid eye movement sleep, the stage most associated with vivid dreaming, memory consolidation, and emotional processing. We go through 4 or 5 of these full cycles, each lasting about 90 minutes every single night in our youth. That staircase is steep, and we descend into the basement of deep sleep quickly and stay there for long periods, especially in the first half of the night. But as we age, that staircase becomes shallower and more rickety. We tend to spend much more time lingering on the upper steps of the lighter stages 1 and 2. It becomes harder to get down into the basement of deep sleep, and we don't stay there as long when we do. Furthermore, the doors on the staircase that lead back to wakefulness become much easier to open. A small noise from the street, the need to use the restroom, a slight pain from an arthritic joint. These things that we might have slept right through at age 30 can now easily push the door open and wake you up, forcing you to climb all the way back to the top of the staircase and begin the long, slow descent all over again. This is called sleep fragmentation, and it's a primary reason why an 8-hour sleep at age 70 can feel so much less restorative than an 8-hour sleep at age 30. The brain's nightly cleaning crew, the glymphatic system. So why is that loss of deep sleep so clinically important? This brings us to one of the most exciting and important discoveries in all of modern neuroscience, a discovery so recent it wasn't even known when I was in medical school. It's the discovery of the glymphatic system. During your busy day, your brain's 86 billion neurons are firing constantly, and this intense metabolic process creates a significant amount of waste, like cellular exhaust fumes. One of the most problematic of these waste products is a sticky, toxic protein called beta amyloid. This is the protein that, when it clumps together, forms the infamous plaques found in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. For decades, scientists wondered how the brain, which is locked inside the skull and lacks the lymphatic drainage system the rest of the body has, gets rid of this toxic waste. The answer, discovered by a team led by Dr. Mike Nedergaard, is astounding. At night, when you enter that precious state of deep, slow-wave sleep, something incredible happens. Your brain cells, called glia, can actually shrink by up to 60%, widening the channels and alleyways between them. This allows your cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, to rush in with 10 times the force, literally power washing your brain from the inside out. This nightly cleaning cycle, now called the glymphatic system, is like a team of microscopic janitors who come out to scrub your brain, clearing out the metabolic waste and flushing away those toxic, sticky beta amyloid proteins before they have a chance to clump together and cause damage. So let me be very direct from a physician's perspective. If you are not consistently getting enough deep, slow-wave sleep, your brain is not getting the chance to take out the trash. That toxic protein is being left behind, night after night, year after year. While this is certainly not the only cause of Alzheimer's disease, a multifactorial condition, scientists now firmly believe that decades of insufficient deep sleep is a major contributing risk factor. This is why prioritizing sleep is not a luxury. It is a fundamental act of long-term brain protection. The hormonal dance, cortisol and melatonin finally. Let's talk about the hormones that conduct this nightly orchestra. This entire 24-hour cycle of sleep and wakefulness, known as your circadian rhythm, is orchestrated by your body's master clock, located in a part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. The two most important musicians in this orchestra are melatonin and cortisol. Melatonin is the gentle, soothing lullaby. It's often misunderstood. As the sun sets and the light entering your eyes diminishes, your brain begins to release melatonin. It doesn't force you to sleep like a sleeping pill. It simply opens the gate to sleep. It's the gentle librarian of your brain, walking around and whispering, "Hush now, it's nighttime. It's safe to power down." Cortisol, on the other hand, is the energetic trumpet blast that's supposed to wake you up in the morning. It's your primary stress and alertness hormone. Its natural rhythm is to be at its lowest point around midnight and then to begin rising in the early morning, spiking around sunrise to give you the energy and alertness to get up and face the day. As we age, this delicate hormonal dance can get out of sync. Our bodies may produce less melatonin, so the lullaby is quieter and less persuasive, but more commonly, as Richard experiences, the cortisol rhythm becomes dysregulated. Instead of staying low all night, it can spike prematurely at 3 or 4 a.m. That trumpet blast goes off in the middle of the night, jolting you awake with a racing heart and a mind suddenly full of anxieties. It's often not a psychological problem at its root. It's a physiological mistiming, but the good news is we can help our orchestra's conductor get back on schedule, and that's exactly what our next chapter is all about. So, after understanding the complex science and the unique challenges of the aging sleep cycle, the crucial question becomes, what can we do about it? And this is where the news becomes incredibly hopeful and empowering. From a clinical perspective, the first line of defense in treating most cases of insomnia is not a sleeping pill. It's a powerful, evidence-based set of behaviors and environmental adjustments that we collectively call sleep hygiene. Think of this as creating the perfect, irresistible invitation for sleep to come and stay for the entire night. This isn't a quick fix. It's a practice. It's about sending clear, consistent signals to your brain day after day, night after night. Let's write your new prescription for better sleep. 1. Engineer your sleep cave, the environment for millions of years. Our brains evolved to understand a very simple and reliable set of environmental cues. The setting of the sun brought 3 distinct changes: darkness, a gradual drop in temperature, and quiet. These 3 ancient signals became the universal, biological triggers for sleep. The goal of modern sleep hygiene is to meticulously recreate that primal sleep environment in your modern bedroom. We're going to build a sleep cave. First, your cave must be cool. Your body's core temperature must drop by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15 degrees Celsius, to both initiate and maintain deep sleep. A warm, stuffy bedroom actively fights against this essential physiological process. The clinical recommendation is to aim for a bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. This might seem cool to you, but it's what your brain wants. Use lighter bedding you can throw off if needed. Second, and this is non-negotiable, we must make your cave dark. I mean absolutely, completely, cave-like dark. Light is the single most powerful enemy of melatonin production. Even a tiny amount of light from a digital clock, a television power button, or a street lamp peeking through the blinds can hit your retina and send a signal to your brain to suppress melatonin. I recommend blackout curtains as the #1 best investment you can make for your sleep quality. Cover every little electronic LED with a piece of black electrical tape, and a simple, comfortable eye mask is a cheap and incredibly effective tool to ensure total darkness. Finally, Your cave must be quiet. As we learned, the aging brain is more easily aroused from sleep. Sudden noises are particularly jarring. If you live in a noisy environment, you can't control the outside world, but you can control your perception of it. I strongly recommend a white noise machine, a simple fan, or comfortable earplugs to create a consistent, soothing sonic blanket that masks abrupt sounds too. The power down hour. Your pre-sleep ritual. You cannot expect your brain to go from the high alert, problem-solving state of your day to a state of deep rest in 5 minutes. It's like trying to land a 747 on a tiny runway. You need a long, gentle mental landing strip for sleep. I prescribe a power down hour for all my patients. This is the 60 minutes before your desired bedtime. The number one unbreakable rule during this hour is absolutely no screens. The blue light emitted from your TV, computer, tablet, and especially your phone is in the exact same spectrum as the morning sun. It sends a direct, powerful signal to your brain's master clock to suppress melatonin and promote wakefulness. Using your phone in bed is the biological equivalent of shining a bright flashlight in your own eyes and asking, "Why can't I fall asleep?" This was the hardest but most impactful change for Richard. His long-standing habit was to watch the late news in bed, a double whammy of stimulating blue light and anxiety-provoking content. Now, he and Susan have a new protected ritual. At 9 p.m., the TV goes off, and the phones are plugged in to charge in the living room, not the bedroom. Your bedroom should be for sleep and intimacy only. Susan might take a warm bath or shower. The subsequent drop in body temperature as she cools down is a powerful sleep trigger. Richard might listen to calming music or a non-stimulating podcast. They both have rediscovered the joy of reading physical books under a dim, warm-colored light. This hour-long ritual is a clear, consistent signal they are sending to their brains. The day is over. It is time to rest. 3. Your daytime habits. The 16 hours that determine your 8. Finally, a good night's sleep isn't just about what you do in the hour before bed. It's determined by the signals you send your brain all day long, from the moment you wake up. First, get morning sunlight. It is absolutely essential to get 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight exposure without sunglasses as early in the morning as you can. This powerful bright light hits your retina and sends the strongest possible signal to your brain's master clock, the SCN. This anchors your circadian rhythm for the entire day, effectively setting a timer for optimal melatonin production that night, about 14 to 16 hours later. Second, be smart with your naps. I am not against naps, but they must be strategic. If you need to nap, keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes maximum, and early in the afternoon, before 3 p.m. This can provide a great cognitive boost without interfering with your nighttime sleep pressure, which is the buildup of a chemical called adenosine that makes us feel sleepy. Third, time your exercise wisely. Regular daily exercise is fantastic for improving sleep quality and depth, but an intense or vigorous workout too close to bed can be overstimulating and raise your core body temperature. Aim to finish vigorous workouts at least 3 to 4 hours before sleep. A gentle, restorative walk after dinner, however, is perfect for aiding digestion and calming the mind. And fourth, be mindful of your stimulants. My clinical rule for caffeine is simple: no caffeine after 2 p.m. And for some sensitive individuals, noon is a better cutoff. Remember, caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours, meaning half of it is still in your system that long after you drink it. And while that evening glass of wine or nightcap might make you feel sleepy initially, alcohol is a major saboteur of sleep. It severely disrupts your sleep architecture in the second half of the night, suppressing REM sleep and causing awakenings, preventing you from getting the deep, restorative sleep your brain needs. By consistently following this complete protocol, you are taking back control. You are becoming an active participant in your own rest and restoration. And so, our deep dive into the hidden nocturnal world of your brain comes to a close. Let's take a final moment to recap the paradigm-shifting knowledge we've uncovered together. We began by dismantling the single most pervasive and damaging myth about aging and sleep, the false idea that older adults need less sleep. We now know, with scientific certainty, that our brains require 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep to fully repair, restore, and protect themselves, regardless of our age. We journeyed deep into the brain and discovered the breathtaking science of the glymphatic system, our nightly brain wash cycle that clears out the toxic proteins linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. We learned that this cleaning crew only does its most important work during the deep, slow-wave sleep that so often becomes elusive with age. And most importantly, we didn't just admire the problem. We built a solution. We constructed a powerful, evidence-based sleep hygiene protocol, learning how to engineer a perfect sleep cave, create a calming power-down hour, and manage our daytime habits to set the stage for a restful, restorative night. So what about Richard and his restless nights? He and Susan committed to the protocol together. They bought blackout curtains, and their bedroom became a true sleep sanctuary. They started their new nightly ritual at 9 p.m. The television goes off. The phones are plugged in to charge in the living room. They sit together, not talking about anything stressful, each reading a book with a steaming mug of chamomile tea. In the morning, Richard makes it a non-negotiable priority to get that bright morning sunlight while walking the dog, anchoring his body's clock for the day ahead. The changes weren't instantaneous. This is not a magic pill, but slowly, week by week, he noticed he was falling asleep a little faster. The 3M cortisol spike that used to jolt him awake with a racing heart began to quiet down. He was still waking up once to use the restroom, but he found he could fall back asleep much more easily. And then, one morning, about a month into the new routine, he woke up feeling a way he hadn't in years. He didn't feel groggy or heavy. He told me he felt clear. As he described it to me, it was like my brain was finally quiet overnight. The constant, low-grade static that I didn't even realize was there was gone. He had the energy, and more importantly, the motivation for his morning exercise. His food cravings were gone. He felt like himself again. Richard's experience reveals the profound truth we've explored today. Restorative sleep is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity. It is a non-negotiable pillar of longevity, as critical as the food you eat or the way you move your body. In fact, sleep is the force multiplier for all of your other healthy habits. A healthy diet is less effective in a sleep-deprived body because insulin sensitivity plummets. The motivation to exercise is the first thing to disappear after a poor night's sleep. Your ability to manage stress is severely compromised when you're running on empty. Think of it this way. Your daytime habits of eating well and moving are like your daily income. You are earning health dollars, but sleep is your nightly investment manager. It's the time when your body takes all those dollars you've earned and invests them wisely, repairing muscle, consolidating memories, balancing hormones, and cleaning your brain. Without that nightly investment period, your hard-earned health dollars are never put to work effectively. They just sit there, losing value. By taking these simple, consistent, science-backed steps, you are not just trying to get more sleep. You are actively washing your brain. You are consolidating your precious memories. You are balancing your hormones. You are fortifying your health for all the vibrant years to come. The journey to reclaiming your night starts with one small, intentional change. So, I invite you to make a simple commitment to yourself right now. What is one thing from our sleep hygiene protocol that you will commit to trying consistently, starting this week? Will it be banishing your phone from the bedroom and buying a simple alarm clock? Or will you make a non-negotiable appointment with the morning sun each day? Share your single commitment in the comments below. Writing it down is a powerful act of intention and can inspire others in our community to do the same. If this guide has given you the hope and the tools you need to build your pillar of restorative sleep, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to Senior Health Lab. We have 2 more essential pillars to build together. Thank you for joining us in the lab today. I wish you a night of deep, peaceful, and restorative rest. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy,